everybody, and welcome back to the next part in my Dialing In series. I hope everybody is staying healthy and safe out there, and I thought I'd throw out a couple more videos for all those sitting at home that can't leave, that have nothing else to do. Well, hopefully you can enjoy this video and like the preset I'm going to give you. What I'm doing today is back to my dual amps Dialing In series, and what I'm trying to do here is use two of the Marshall Plexi amp models we have in the Helix. Now, you know, the thing about some of the models, well, what I chose to do actually, first of all, is to combine the Brit Plexi Bright, which is an amp model that I find is not my favorite go-to. I've used it for some things, but I find it can get harsh and abrasive, but there are some nice qualities to it. And I also used the Brit Trim Norm, I believe it was. Yeah, Brit Trim Norm and Brit Plexi Bright. Now, the reason is because the Brit Plexi Bright has that harshness sometimes, you know, that I find for me, and the Brit Trim Norm has the opposite. It's a very dark, kind of maybe squishy sounding amp model. And I thought, wouldn't it be cool if we blend the two together and kind of take qualities from both and then use those to make a Plexi type preset that's going to be kind of cool. So this is kind of a crunch sound, mid-gainy tone. I did a performance video with this. Again, I wasn't trying to copy the tone. I created the preset first, and then I said, what can I use to demonstrate it? And I used the song Have a Drink on Me by AC/DC, and it worked really nicely. Now in this video, I'm using my Yamaha Pacifica 611. In the performance video, I believe I used my Revstar 620, more of a Les Paul SG style guitar. But I thought I would do this video with this, as you can hear what it sounds like through different pickups and different guitar. So yeah, I was really happy with this. And actually, it inspired me. I ended up taking this and kind of using the inspiration from this to create a 7-snapshot dual Plexi ultimate kind of thing with some effects and all sorts of things that I'm going to have up on Line 6 Marketplace in the coming weeks. So keep your eye out for that. I'm kind of working on, the preset's done. I'm just kind of working on the demo video right now. So let's go over to HX Edit and see what we have. So as we can see, I've got my dual amp path here. You know, using the dual amps up on path A up here, or the first path, really kind of limits what else you can add to it as far as DSP goes. But you know, that's the drawback to using the dual amps. But down here you can still fit quite a bit. So I start with my typical settings on my LA Studio Comp, something I just did a video about dialing in a couple days ago. Peak reduction 5.5, gain of 5, kind of my go-to settings, just to add that gooiness, that squishiness, that little something like a mastering engineer would use. On the EQ, I have basically nothing other than low cut at 100 Hertz, high cut at 12 kilohertz, pretty standard settings for myself. Room reverb, decay at 6, mix at 35%, pre-delay at 15 milliseconds, nothing too crazy. Now the delay is kind of cool. I kept this on the whole time, and obviously if you're using this and you don't like it, you can just switch it off. But I just went with a simple delay with time of 50 milliseconds, so very short, almost like slapback type effect. Feedback, maybe even shorter than slapback, almost more like just adding some room sound to it, if that makes sense, like a distant mic or something like that, you know. Feedback of 0% because I don't want the repeats. Mix of 40%, level at 0 dB, and scale at 100%. So you'll see when I play through that what it does to the sound. I kind of really liked it, and I used that on all the tracks in the performance video as well. Low and high shelf EQ, all the frequencies below 650 Hertz I dropped by 3 dB. All the frequencies above 2 kilohertz I boosted by 2 dB. Very similar to my stock sort of default settings, except I think I lowered the low gain by 1 extra dB. All right, so let's look at the amps. Both amps are using a 412 Greenback 25. Brit Plexi Bright, 412 Greenback 25 with a 57 dynamic. So I was really trying to accentuate that sort of brightness, harshness, I hate to use that word because it sounds negative, but brightness, to be able to blend that in with the darker Brit Trim. So simple, 57 dynamic, 1-inch back, nothing else, right? Let's look at speaker cab on the other one. 412 Greenback, 121 ribbon, distance of 5 inches, but I also used the low cut here to roll right off into the lower end, all the way up to 150 Hertz, okay? I just found that worked really nice. So what are the settings on the Brit Plexi Bright? Drive at 6, bass at 10, mid at 10, treble at 8, presence at 8, channel volume at 7. Now that's going to be important because that's how I'm blending the amps together, right? Master at 10, and the deeper functions, actually I believe I might have touched the sag on this and brought it up to 7.5. Settings on the Brit trem norm, crank the normal drive up to 10, bass at 4.9, mid at 6, treble, presence, channel volume, and master all at 10, and the sag is at 9 on this one. So that's pretty interesting. I bumped it up that much. I just liked what it did. That's the settings on the amp. So let's do this. Let's first of all turn off the EQ. I'll just leave the compressor on at the end. Turn the verb and the delay off and the EQ off. And what I'm going to do is go directly over to just let you hear what the Brit Plexi Bright sounds like on these settings. Now, keep in mind, these tones are probably not going to be that great on their own. It's blending them together that gives us what we want. So this is the sound of this on the bridge pickup. Nothing wrong with it. It's going to cut in a mix, but it is kind of thin sounding. All right, let's listen to what it sounds like when I go the other way and just go over to the Brit trem norm. Very different sound now. So you can really hear the contrast between the two of them, very different tones. Now, here's what they sound like when I put them both together. Okay, so nice stuff. So let's do this. Let's go up to, if you noticed, on the Brit Trem Bright, I have the channel volume at 10, meaning it's going to be the predominant part of this tone. And the Brit Plexi Bright, I have down with the channel volume at 7, so I've blended that in. But let's do this. Let's bring the channel volume down to 0 on that and sort of hear what it sounds like as I blend it in. So here it is with none of the Brit Plexi Bright. Bring that in a little bit. Back up to where I had it. So you can kind of hear how it just adds a little bit of cut to that. Okay, what happens if we went up and blended them both equally? Some people might like that. And that's the beauty of this. And that's what I want to really portray in this video. Just because I choose a certain blend to my liking doesn't mean you can't go ahead and do whatever you want. I'm not saying that my settings are right. I just worked with it in the performance video mix and kind of went, yeah, that works. That sounds nice. Again, I wasn't trying to copy the AC/DC sound before anybody comes on and says, that doesn't sound like AC/DC. It's not supposed to. It was this preset just used to see how it works in a mix, right? So that's that. Now let's start turning on some of the other stuff. Let's put the low and high cut on with this blend back to where we wanted it, or where I wanted it for the finished product. So let's put the EQ on. This is just the low and high cut, so it's not going to be a huge difference. Yuck. Okay. Put some reverb onto that. Kind of brings it to life a little bit. Let's add this low and high shelf EQ in. Which cuts out some of that low muddiness, right? Low mid muddiness, and adds a little bit of sparkle to it. Which will allow me maybe to flip over to the neck pickup. That's a P90 neck, Duncan P90. Let's go with the bridge and middle. Let's go split coil on the bridge. And let's go split coil, bridge, and the P90. And back to just the humbucker. Now here's where it's really cool. Here's the simple delay, just kind of set at that really short delay to give a bigger, fatter room sound out of this. So here it is without. Here it is with. Again, with it off. On. Nice little subtle effect. It gives it that sort of open spaciousness. Now, you can just turn that off if you don't like it. No worries either way. What do you guys think of that? So that was a fun one to put together, and I really hope you guys enjoyed that. That was a real blast, and I really liked it. So go give the performance video a listen if you don't mind. You can hear that. I believe a left and right channel guitar and then a lead. And I was really happy with it. Again, it doesn't sound like AC/DC. Never supposed to be, never meant to, but that's really cool. And keep an eye out on Marketplace. I'm going to have a much more full-featured version of this up there available really, really soon. That's came out really cool. I was really, really liking it, and I'm having fun putting together. I won't tell you the songs I'm using, but the performance video has been coming along really good, and I'm enjoying it. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thanks for the support. I hope everybody stays well and stays safe out there through this craziness, and hopefully this will all be over soon so we can get back to normal life. Please like the video and share it if you don't mind. The more people get to see it, the better it is for me, and I can sort of keep doing these things, and it helps with keeping this rolling for me. Grab the preset off a custom tone. I hope you enjoy. Make whatever tweaks you have to it, and thanks again, guys, and I will be back soon with some more content. Ciao for now.